want to keep it kind of open because anytime I get a small class like this, kind of rare, which is weird. It's like,
give it to me after.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people there today. Probably. Anyhow, I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So, one of the things that I do encourage, and I understand sometimes people want to grind it out, but we can do that. And sometimes I talk a bit too much during the grapples, but when I get an opportunity to grapple with people that I haven't grappled with in a while, and I see something that I'm going to exploit, I want to tell them as it's going to happen so that you can reprogram your brain from that defensive position to know. It's almost like when I'm saying it, I know I'm going to do it, and if I was on the bottom, I would also know that that was an option. And I can see sometimes that people don't know that things are options, or basic stuff like, where do I want my head? Don't defend the whole body. Like, let's pay attention to where I want my head position and how I'm going to advance the position, not I need to stop this whole person. Right? When we can change that part, man, the game gets a lot easier. Like, oh, all I had to do is push the head. Like, that's basically all it was. From you getting smashed in side control for 4 minutes straight, or just push the head out and then you get your guard back, right? So I want to talk about any position that you want. If it's a submission setup, that's cool. If it's a positional thing, if it's a place that you keep getting stuck at, I want to try to connect the dots a little bit and get you to a point where you feel, comfortable with wherever that is. So, Carlos, let's start with you. Do you have any stuff that you're working on? Any questions from a position?
We get stuck at somebody on top. Like,
yeah, I like that a lot. And then what?
well, I'm just trying to them not to stack me up,
Keep your feet in. Yep. I love that. Because that's something we were working on before, and even if this, whatever the close leg is, like if this is the close leg, if I can be here and fishing with this one, or maybe I'll even do this. I'll probably do this because I like to control hands too. I always like to pay attention to where I might get hit. But also in a position like this, if you're going to get hit, it's pretty easy to move your head over. Right? Everything's kind of happened right there. Does everybody see what he's doing? Can you do that again? So watch how it sets up, right? He doesn't panic on stopping the pass. He just sets his legs up. Go ahead, start passing. Just go through a couple of sequences. Look how he keeps his feet, right? And then he starts working his way through. He tries to put it back on the outside, so he's forcing him to go around. Second part, right there. Did you notice how Carlos straightened his head and then always had some sort of hand contact? The hand contact is going to give you two things, right? It's going to be like, which way do I feel like they're going to start to move, which is going to tell me what to do with my legs, right? When you're on the bottom, let me ask you, when you're on the bottom, do you play a lot of like, go ahead, make your move? I do too, right? And usually, like I'd say, more so than not, if I'm on the bottom, I'm probably going to give you the first move. Is that advantage or disadvantage? I feel like it's advantage. Because why? You're going to show me what side we're going to work on. You're going to show, okay, this is the side you feel most comfortable passing. Okay, you like this pass. Oh, you're going to try to stack my knees together. Like, you're going to show me what I'm defending, and you go, okay, I'm going to game for you. Right? And then Carlos is just showing a particular version of his game that he likes. And I like that too. So we did a good amount of talking from this position. Instead of ending up like here, like I'm holding on to the legs and I'm doing the upper body. What part is open? It's the most important part. This is where they need to be. So one of the things Carlos is doing is, as soon as he feels like you're getting the bite, and watch how he does it. Watch, you lift your head up, and then you try to come down with the chest. So he's going to try to gain, he's going to come here, and then he's going to go, look, he's going to go up, he's going to go forward shoulders, and then he's going to try to drop back down. But what you're feeling is, I just went from here to here, and now you're carrying my weight. So you're okay with that, and most people are okay with that. I like your strategy because you're like, cool, I know I'm generally losing this position, but you want this. So go ahead, you do that, and now you take the next move, and when you move, I move. So this is the strategy that I want everybody to kind of get with it. You see those guys that, and you're one of them, right? You get to like purple belt and stuff where it's like, they make the guard look easy, right? And you're working, and they're like, they don't look like they're working that hard. You're like, this is why. It's like you have to be able to stay on top of what you know they're going to do. And all this is like, I just know a lot of things that people are going to do. And then we go back and we talk about, well, how do we stop it? Right? And a lot of that is, you take away the end game. Right? If it's football, we're trying to keep them as far away from field goal position and the end zone as possible. Right? If it's hockey, I don't want to get shots on net. Soccer, I don't want to get shots. We want to box them out. We want everything to have to come from wide range. I want you to take, if it's striking, if it's grappling, I want you to have to take big leaps to get to positions that you want to get to. Why? Because I'm going to make it real hard and make you stay on the outside. All big leaps are easy to control. Right? I'll send you over the top, I'll bring you back this way. But this is how you should be setting up your game. It doesn't always work that way in the beginning because you're trying to figure out the structure of all the positions. When you get to Carlos's level, then you can start like playing around with some of the things that we've been working on too. And all he did was go, all right, you're kind of winning here and here. I know you want this, I'm taking it. Right? So it's like if it was tic-tac-toe, I can see that you got two X's right here, and I know you're gonna try to connect that box. I'm just gonna close that box off and let you run with it, right? So you still have options, but I'm not gonna let you have it. You're not getting the first one, right? And then we're gonna kind of play for you. Everybody should have that, or at least try to start to develop that. I don't want to say laziness, but like that flowiness to the guard. Everybody wants a flowy guard. Nobody likes to have to work their ass off from the bottom because you are carrying their weight, right? So most of the bottom should be deflection of where their weight is going. So when you're playing that position, can we roll through a couple of them and just kind of watch? So in your head this way if you can. And then I don't care whether you get past or not, because when you get past, I'll say stop, and I'm going to show where the hand position ends up and all that sort of stuff, if you do, okay? So let's just start and work through this. Ready, go ahead. Yeah, look, so he's meeting him at the door, which I kind of like. And then look, kept the same space when he laid down. And then easy back in. So far, Carlos actually hasn't given up any space. Now here's that move we talked about, right? Sean feels better, his shoulders start getting higher. He's got just enough of bite on the legs right now, and look how he put the head on the opposite side. Now he's got Sean going backwards, he's going collar, and he's making his head so it's around the outside. Inside hook is key because he's always worried about him stepping out the back door. And again, maintain the same space from the beginning. Okay, break right here, don't move. Why don't I like the headlock for this position?
There's no submission on that side. From body to the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the chin, but where does he want his head in the positional game? Him. He wants it cross body. So now you're putting it cross body and you're holding him there, but now he's also connected shoulders to your chest. So I'm going to use that to try to fly. You had a way better frame. And then when you choose to take the head from there, that's where Sean was like, oh, sweet. And now you went from like this to now open shoulder and hold on to the head because he's going to barrel his weight in and know that he's not getting choked very easily on this side.
It was uncomfortable, but I wasn't.
And he's going to, I'm going to sit down next to you. Now I'm going to let you hold my head. I'm going to start ungrinding the legs, and then I'm going to try to work my way up in the side control. And then hopefully you let that go so they don't get Von Flea choke. Right, you know, the Von Flea choke, when you hold on to this, basically like a head knob choke. So, does this help to see these? How many people would have chose to grab the head in that position?
I would have pushed it away.
Yeah, because sometimes it seems like, man, it's right there. This person's giving it to me. But especially John, he walks around like, he wants you to grab his neck because he knows if I give you the first move to grab the neck, I'm immediately going to change the bottom part of the body so it's at my advantage. And then also what happens is when you grab the neck is I can now use my shoulders and chest to open your shoulders and get you to go fly. And this is where most people are playing. So I loved every bit of it right before that. You hated it, right? Which is what we wanted. And then when he tried to turn that corner, you invited him in. So what could be done? If I'm going to grab the head, I'm always going to try to push him to the side that he's trying to pass him. Now he's not cross body, and you did it kind of the first time a little bit, and he backed out. You went after the collar. But you went, hey, I'm going to push your head over this way, because he wanted his head this way. You pushed it back over this way, and now you're like, ooh, and I'm going after the collar. Where do you feel him going? backwards, which is what we want because now he's not passing. So does everybody see like the whole offensive defense here that Carlos was using?
He's really good at it.
I know he is. That's why I picked him. Right? So the next part of this is finding like what I think is like a little mistake. Could it end up being disastrous? Maybe. But like if we're really trying to just stay up in the cards and stay up on the position and always make them have to fight in what we want, I wouldn't have done that. I would have pushed the heads to this side and grabbed it all day if I could have done that. That serves two purposes, right? They want the head on this side. If the head's on the same side as the ass that they're passing, they're very vulnerable to choke. So even if I do it and grab it, what do I expect them to do if I don't get it? Pull the head out like a dog, right? Just start pulling and backing out. So maybe I grab it and start backing out and I go, cool, I'm just going to use it to get up, right? Because I know that you're going to use it to pull back. So they don't always have to be the best sweeps, right? Sometimes it's like if I grab, I'm like, if I grab my dog by the head right now, I know what she's going to do. Right? It's easy because she's got no chin, so she's going to pull on it. But I should know that, like, if this is going to be a tactic, I'm looking to take advantage of their defense. Right? I'm going to put you in harm's way real quick, and I'm going to go, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're pulling back, we're going forward. Right? And then these are things that are going to make the guard a lot easier. And how do you know that it's working? People really start to have to react to hard. They have to react quickly. Here. Like this, you get this, that's what you want. Because now they didn't see it coming. Now you're A, B, and an ABC and your moves together. And I guarantee the next time they come in, they play the old like this thing here, right? Like, I'm like, dude, get over it. Grappling's all about contact, right? But I don't want to, especially when somebody plays away, what do you think their only part of their game is? If I'm playing out here, and I'm doing this, what do you think I'm trying to do? What's that? Stall. Yeah, stall, but what do I, if I'm going to try to bait anything, what am I trying to bait?
I'm trying to get him to pause.
Yeah, reach, right. Yeah, make him do something. Make him do something dumb, like stick his legs out. Lean forward with his head and come forward. So now I'm going to grab this up right now. Reach too far with his arm, so now I got something to follow in. Maybe I don't like every single time I try to step in here, he's going to flip me. I feel like every time I come forward, I'm at a disadvantage. Right, so a lot of times people, when they start to play out here and they start to do this, they're just looking for that person to overcommit on something. Don't. If it's a real fight, I need to get to you. Right? So he's in advantage where, like, even if they're striking, let them come to you, by the way. If they're striking and we're in a real fight and some dickhead's playing around out here, just get up. Right? You don't have to stay there. Like, I understand everybody likes jiu-jitsu and all that sort of stuff, but, like, still program the brain to be in the best position possible. Yeah, you can play your guard. Like,
You don't want to be on the concrete.
the concrete sucks. You know, maybe if you end up in the grass or, you know, you want to put a highlight reel on something. But generally speaking, for self-defense purposes, get up. You know, the guard should help you back to your feet. It should help to kind of put this force field around the space, right? Whereas he's already in a position where he's protecting himself. If I come in too far and go towards his head, what do you think he's going to do? You know, the weeble wobble, but they don't fall down, right? Like, he's going to keep his knees, watch him. He's just going to go like a rocking chair. No, sit back. Sit right back. Grab your knees and sit back. There you go. Okay. And now look where I'm at. I'm right where we started at the other day. And he move forward, move forward a little. I go and swat at this guy. He moves his head back. And where's the feet go? The feet go right here. I don't get to him again. And I think more people need to program this into their game. I talk about it more and more in gi class and regular jiu-jitsu class, because for me, again, jiu-jitsu should save your life. There's a lot of law enforcement people that train here. There's a lot of like regular everyday professionals that they do it because they love it. But I feel like it's my responsibility, firefighters, policemen, people that work in the prisons, right? There's some FBI people that are training here. Like, there's all sorts of people that have to deal with conflict all the time. And the fight or flight factor of fighting is only based on the things that you practice. So if I give you all this cool sporty stuff to do all of the time, and I don't reinforce the basics of fighting, that's my fault. Right? So like every single thing that we do, not just because we're a mixed martial arts school, the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu was fighting to save your life, right? And it was based on people striking in the beginning. It wasn't just the grappling part, right? And if you look back at what the Gracies were doing, it was all self-defense, right? For fighting, for MMA. That's what their ultimate goal was. And I think as we go on in time, I understand that there's sport, jiu-jitsu, and that's all fine and dandy, and there's some stuff, you know, that looks really cool and it's great for sport jiu-jitsu, but it does not work when we add the fact that I can put my hands on your face, your throat, your body, like that. So for me, if I have to program everybody for fight or flight, this is the most important part. Now, the cool part about that is it flows right into your regular jiu-jitsu game. Like, I don't change my game for gi too much, for no gi, for punches. Like, I want to tie up the hands as much as I possibly can, no matter where I'm at. Everybody's here is grapple with me. You know, you pass, you get the side control. I'm not panicking. But what I am doing is, if I feel like you're tying me up with one hand, are you going to beat me with one hand usually? No, it's usually the second hand comes in and I start to really get in a panic, right? Like, oh shit, this is where they need business. So instead, what do? I'm going to cut that off the pass. Ooh, I see what they're setting up. Give me that other hand. And instead of me just framing and trying to get out, I'm going to go almost all of my efforts into that other hand that I know that you need. Now you're going to struggle to get it back. In that struggle, I'm going to get my position. I didn't do this in the beginning. It was like, and if you look at the original Gracie curriculum, it was more based on positional moves to get out of bad spots to get back to better spots. Now, the advanced form of jiu-jitsu, and especially the mixed martial arts striking jiu-jitsu, we get into what I'm talking about here, which is like, you create the opening to get out of. You don't just shrimp. And I've been to many grappling tournaments with like, shrimp, and the person's like, I remember the drill from class. But they didn't really talk about what the heck the shrimp is and why it works, right? And how you get your knees back. How many times have people they've gotten their knee in like this? If you've ever been to a grappling tournament, you see it all the time. And then they can't get their guard back.
All the time.
You see it all the time, right? But why is that?
They're not bringing that heavy.
Yeah, they don't know how to shrimp.
Yeah.
And you see it in almost even up to purple belt, right? And then they fucking spin around in a circle, right? Because the other guy's trying to pass and the other one's just keeping the knee in. Can you demonstrate this for me real quick so everybody knows what we're talking about? Carlos, just start passing on top.
You want to do it wrong?
Yeah, so go to side control. You're not corralling me. Go, I'm in charge. Right, and then put your knee in on the bottom knee, right? It's usually the bottom. Boom. How many people, and they're usually holding on, so grab on top, hold the head or something, right? Hold his head. Yeah, this. Okay, how many people have got here and they're like, man, I got the knee in, I'm so close, I can't get my guard back. Anybody? I see this in every single tournament all the time. How, now you're going to tell me, if you did get to this position, how are you getting your feet back to the inside? First of all, what's in the way? Yeah, 100%. Sean's in the way. If I'm like this, can I lift this knee up? No, I'm in the way. Agreed? Yeah. The other thing that Carlos has to his advantage is his head position. So there's two things Sean's going to pay attention to right now, and you're going to tell me which one he's going to do first, right? Obviously, he needs to stop and control the head, maybe even start to get close to his head. But with the bottom part of the body or the top, what's going to move first? Are we going to move the bottom out or the top out?
Bottom.
Yeah, so moves bottom, but he doesn't make, it's not, everybody thinks I need to shrimp, and it's a whole square. He's going to take 3 shrimps, and he's going to move a quarter of the way out with the bottom and the head, and the bottom and the top, and the bottom and the top. Go ahead, watch. Here, bottom, top, and there's how we get some space back. If you go and make one big bite of a move, when you do this, you've done almost everything right, except for the fact that Carlos, when you make that big move, is going to go, yep, I'm going to follow that. Because a big move, especially at the end, has a relax point. Right here, Carlos goes, and flattens you back out. I go, God, you go, and he flattens you back out every single time. They're going to follow that rhythm. So it's real important that when Sean does that, we'll say like just a regular shrimp, that he pays attention to, instead of doing it in one big move, always think about it like rock climbing. Nobody jumps up and tries to get to the next thing rock climbing, right? It's always like, hey, I work my way up an inch here, I hold, and I'm good, and I step, and I work up to about here. That's how I do it. It's usually all small moves that, can I let go of rock climbing? No. So every single time I make a move, I have to have something backing it up to hold that person in place so I can make the next move. Are these theories making sense? So again, I'm just picking random spots, passing and defending the guard, and we're we're just talking about theory and how I like to think about it. And of course, like how I want to program you guys to start thinking about being that level. Does that make sense? How many people end up in that scenario? Right? They get the knee in, and they're like, damn, I'm so close. What am I going to do? And then maybe they push the top part of the body away first. Why is that wrong? Watch what happens. Here, what happened?
It opened up the more.
Yeah, watch my top shoulder, ready? And as soon as this happens, it's very hard for me to shrimp on the bottom, but I can also just pin myself flat. So I can guarantee I know where Carlos's head just went. And he's going to put it, all this weight down right here. So now when I go to shrimp, I can't throw my shoulders back. Right? So order of operations is super important. When I'm functioning and everybody's functioning here, look at where I'm at. This is key. Every single time this starts to happen, how do I fix it? Good abs? Strong abs? Yeah. But you probably do this and don't even realize it. But what I do want you to do is get this in your brain so you know that you're doing it. Because when you don't realize that you're doing it, you only do it when it's easy. When it becomes hard, you don't believe it, so you don't do it. I guarantee this is the way.
I was just telling Carlos Kennedy that I was gotten in a bad habit and I'm trying to break this out. I'll get in a spot where I feel like I can't move, and then my head will tell me I can't move.
Yeah.
Even though I can shrimp 3 or 4 times to get out, my head's saying, oh, you're tired, I can't move.
So where should your brain go from that point? Because everybody's got to that point where they're like, oh fuck, I can't move. But on the other side of that, you ask what questions? What questions does he ask when he can't move anything? Well, yeah, what can I do next? But what can they do next? Is their next thing a submission? If it is, I should start to worry. But if they need to move to get to the next arm or the neck or whatever they need to do for a submission, do I A, try to force a move, or do I go, hey, this is not my turn?
I've done that too.
And I wait. Right? This is smart. Now again, this is also self-defense. Because if I'm on the street and your arms are tied up holding me down, I can breathe, I'm not hurting, and you're not hitting me, and I don't feel like I can move, why am I gonna give up the farm to try to get up, so get on the front headlock and choke me? Or start stomping me when I go belly down and try to get up? No. I'm just stand the ground. And I'm gonna wait until you try to do damage. And then I'm gonna make my move. But again, we have to do these things at a heightened sense of alert. Meaning, I can feel when you're going to move. When you move, I'm moving. I'm not going, okay, there's that hand. I think you're going to hit me now. You don't have time for that. Right? So the programming is you coaching yourself as you're doing these rounds and telling yourself the right thing. Oh shit, they're starting to move. This is not feeling very good right here. What can I do? Well, maybe this head sucks. So if anything, before I completely get flattened out, I just start taking the head and moving it a little bit. Oh, that was way better. Now I shrimp my shrimp. And now I get back to the way better. Those two little things will change everything. I'm almost past, I'm back to comfort. And I don't think most people realize how close they are to getting back to comfort. Even when they're past the limits, they still have work to do. Like, most of the time, people's brain, when they pass the legs, goes to, oh my god, don't let them get the side control. My brain is not down. My brain goes, oh, I know, side control is going to be a hard push in this way. Can I hold them out? If I can hold them out a little bit, they're going to push harder. When they push harder, I might just go, but now we're going this way. And they're going to put their hands down here. And if they push back, I'm going to follow back, and I'm going to shrimp up and go back. If they put their hands out here, and they're on the back, and go to the back of the elbow, I'm going to hold it here, and I'm going to sit and move myself down. Does this make sense? So when I'm doing rounds with people, like, I want you to do this to me. I will purposely do things to see if you respond, and then if you don't respond, so I'm going to go like, hey, you feel how hard I'm pushing you this way? Just let me. And I'm here like this. Or like how many people go, it needs to be last night. I kind of think up the grading and show leg lock. So everybody's been in these leg lock scenarios, and they all go, man, how the heck does he keep getting me to give the legs? But he's always off balancing you the way that you're pushing, and he's setting up the legs. He's not just straight up setting up the legs. It's always like this push and this scramble, and I grab the leg and get you to push in, and I roll you that way, and I put a hand down. Like, that's the game. But what I'm actually talking about is hard to teach. is like the concept of jiu-jitsu, and I wish that I had coaches in the beginning that could break it down like this for me, and just go, oh, yeah, I don't think I was thinking that at all from those positions. But coach, when we practiced, you told me to use this move when I was There's no such thing. There's no I just use this move in this position. It might be Sean. Sean might put his hand in a different spot. Sean's a little bit bigger than Sergio, right? Or, Ed or what. They're different ranks. They're doing different things. Like, there's no I just plug in a move. Are they still good techniques? Yeah. But the idea of progression in rank and understanding what jiu-jitsu is, when do I use the tools that I need? Right? I mean, you can use vice grips for a lot of shit. You work on stuff.
My dad just popped in my head.
Yeah.
He didn't have the money for the tools.
Fucking yeah, man, you just buy a bunch of vice grips and it's the universal. But it's not the best tool. It's not the best tool for the job most of the time. But if you got nothing else, alright, you're gonna use vice grips. But that's knowledge, that's the rank of jiu-jitsu. And in the beginning, we get good enough to try to use vice grips on like everything. And then you get a couple more tools. But the idea is like, how well can you use the vice grips? There's a lot of things that you can do with them. You should figure out how to exhaust all those possibilities so when you add the next thing, it makes sense why you're adding it. Like, so coach, and this is why I ask these questions, I expect people to go, coach, every single time I go with so-and-so, we're doing this, this, and this. That means you're aware that it's happening, right? But you don't know how to stop it. And I can go through and go, let me see. Okay, well, check this out. Roulette. Once I plant that seed, your job now is to every single time you get close to that, there should be a light that goes off and you go, okay, coach said this. Oh yeah. Turn my shoulder back in, and let him have this. Fuck it, pass it. There wasn't a move. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. There wasn't a move. I didn't say, oh, use the whatever move, right? I just use this too. No, you could pay attention to what the problem is on top and kind of go at it accordingly. There's a million different ways to use this ring. Right? But I can't shell shoot. Right? We're in the head position. That makes all the difference. Can I get an underhook? Oh, that makes all the difference in the world. Did I start my frame in the head pretty well? Missed that. I'm happy that a lot of the white belts start to come up here. Like, they're automatically going after the wrist. They're automatically framing the head. And you're getting a good frame game from the bottom. We're lucky enough to have like pro fighters and people who travel around a lot. And, they come in from out of town. And I get good feedback from whether it was like from Andre and Sean Soriano and guys like that like back in the day to guys not like Damani and so they travel around, they go to Florida, he's living in Florida now, and he comes back and he tells me like, man, I do this with these guys and I do this, they don't do I pass the guard so easy, they don't even go after the wrist, they're not framing the head, they got no frame game from the bottom. I'm like, okay, that's what I want to hear. And it's not that I want to see that other teams, in my opinion, are doing the right stuff, but
Frank,
did you talk to him? Yeah. How's he doing?
It was kind of hard. He goes, cycles was way harder. Then you go over the coach, we did this thing a couple times, he goes, there's nothing like going over Coach Pete.
There you go. I'm not, this isn't like
Frank's gonna come back and be like, remember that compliment I gave you? Please, another strike.
Well, looks like Frank's coming back with some red.
Comes back with a black belt. It's like, what the?
And your new belt, sir. Thank you for the compliment. I don't really want them for compliments. I feel good when my people go around and get repertoire pretty well. And it's not like, ooh, I kick the crap out of everybody. It's just like, yeah, I work with these guys, and then they ask me, dude, what the heck is this thing coming? And then I help them. And then I show them. And then I leave there and I'm friends with everybody. I like that a lot better. Right? And then they talk well about you, they talk well about the school. Yeah, that guy came in here and cleaned house. And Leon does the same thing. He goes and he travels with Give and Teach. And he's always going around to all these schools, and they all love him, even though he's an asshole. He's a particular type of asshole. I still love him a lot too. Yeah. But he's a great grappler. And he goes and works with all these top guys and puts on. So it's a good representation. But then he goes back and goes, hey man, look, let me show you this. Let me help you with this. Oh, hey, can you show teach our class again? He teaches the class, he helps out, he's getting work with celebrities. Good for him. That's great. But I'm glad that he's going around and showing and being like what we do here and bringing that into other gyms because I also think that's kind of fun. there's a lot of ego-driven gyms, there's a lot of gyms who just people who are in there for number one, fuck about team, they're there to take, and I actually don't mind if there's people drop-ins here. It's fine because they only take so many meetings when they come here, and they usually stop them, so fine. It's the ones that end up being part of the team afterwards that go, all right. And honestly, I started jiu-jitsu this way. I'll go back real quick. 150 years ago, I used to do jiu-jitsu. I started the guy's basement with my brother Keith. Just, he was a seminar racing blue belt, which means we went to a bunch of seminars, did some racing stuff, and that was how you got ranked back when he was a part of school. He started teaching us some weightlifting stuff that we were doing, training jiu-jitsu, and then we were at the bar called Germany's when we were training. He trained for like a year or so, and we didn't this his dad. That's where they started, right? And we were at a bar called Jerky's, and we were talking about pride fights. We mentioned rearing and choking consequences over those words. Did you say rearing and choking? Like, we're talking like 2003, right? So, 2004. So, these aren't like things. So he trained with Matt Santos, who was doing NHP guys, and based on the stuff press. We were like, yeah, we kind of look at him like this whole secret code thing, right? And he's like, you guys train? Because we're training this guy. He's like, you should go to that Santos fighting camp. We were like, this is a school for this? We had no idea. So we started going down there and training. Matt, Keith went down first, and I'm still a busy teacher. So I could only get there when I wasn't teaching. And I didn't know who he was. And I remember coming in and seeing this frat dog-looking guy smoking cigarettes outside. And I was like, hey, is there like a jiu-jitsu gym or somewhere? He's like, yeah, it's on the third floor. All right. I go and I start talking to some people, and this is like Shane started at the same place, we're all the same time. Maybe he was 3 months after me. And I'm like, hey, so where's the coach? Oh, he'll be in. And I go, oh, that's him right now. I remember seeing him walk in, I'd be like, the frat boy cigarette smoking guy outside is the coach? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. Wrong. I asked him to grapple like right off the rip. Oh, you knew? Alright, let's grapple. And he was doing like one-arm guillotines and making this thing here, and I'm just like, a better athlete, in better shape. Like the whole nine, like you just plug everything in. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what world am I living in? Because again, nobody really knows jiu-jitsu at this point. I knew what I saw in pride fighting and UFC, which wasn't as big as pride. And I was just like, beside myself. I wasn't going to submit like 5 times in a 3-minute round. It was like stupid. And he didn't even try. So right away, you get this thing, right? Where you go, I fucking quit. Or you go, nah, it's no fucking way. There's magic in this, I gotta figure it out, right? Because there's no way in real life, if I saw this guy in the street, would I ever think that I would be dead? I would have been dead. Like, weren't alive. Like, I would have been killed. A hockey player, like the whole nine. Like, I just thought, like everybody else comes in, that is an athlete. They have all these aspirations of what they think it's gonna do. You guys have seen the videos online of people going to jiu-jitsu gyms and they go to these icons. It's like, it's real. But that's how I got into jiu-jitsu. I was sold like that. And there's no better way to sell jiu-jitsu than that. We sell it with like small girls or Dan Cormier or like small people. Right? Oh yeah, come and sell it so over there. Especially on a new e-net. You don't know what you're going to sell for. The next thing you know, you're like, yeah, Andrew, like, right. You're like, what is going on here? So, but I mean, that's jiu-jitsu. Again, that's my story. Like, that's how I was sold out.
That's how I was 300 pounds and then 140 pounds broke belt.
Right. Right. Yeah, John, you're on.
And I grabbed his sister, the first person I grabbed, and she bounced me, and I couldn't get out in 5 minutes, and she hardcore me the last person. I was like,
Yeah.
she couldn't do it at the time. I was like,
Right.
wow.
Right.
I can't believe it.
And it was a girl. And you're talking what, like 2016?
Yeah. Then after that, a couple smaller guys, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do that. Maybe I should go there. No, not that. It just works.
But, it's a good sell, and I think there's so many people that walk around with that false sense of security. this whole conversation comes back around to it's not moves, right? It's understanding what people are going to do it to you. But like he knew exactly what I was doing. Even back in the day, because like I was always told he was a purple belt at the time. You know what I mean? He had a bunch of years, and he just knew all the stuff that I was going to do. I was leading with my head. I was trying to flatten him out. Like I thought anything. He was just like taking that head. I'm taking that. I've never been shown before. You know what I mean? It was like this whole realization of like real life. And I've seen it going both ways. For running a school for like 16 some odd years at this point, I've seen those people come in, and I know that they're not going to do this. Because they're going to come in and they just want to be consistent. They're like, yeah, that guy beats me, but you know, give me like a couple. I'll just like, I'm gonna. You're not. Just join, and you should be like, okay, I need to learn. When you say that, I know that you're open to learn. You're open to trying to figure out what this puzzle is. When you talk like, just give me a small amount of time, and I'm gonna have. And you're not gonna make it. You're gonna find a reason why you can't do it, and you're gonna do it. So the fact that you guys are here today, I'm happy about that. Get off guys. Oh, so crazy. This is how like talk things because like I really don't want you guys memorizing.
You haven't done one leaving a long time.
Never. I can talk about these are kind of fun because it encompasses like all jiu-jitsu. I learned how to think like this, not so much after I became a black belt, which was 2017 or whatever, so like it's been a little while. But you know, right before then, where like maybe I'm a brown belt or a high purple belt, and I have to teach classes for people that are my rank, maybe a little bit above, and everybody below them. So I have to find things when I teach them that I'm not going to bore to death people like Carlos, who are, you know, high ranking purple belts like Sergio. But I also have to make sure that the white belts in the class are also going to get something out of it. How can I say something and have everybody plug it into where this is how you do it. Everybody's been in most of these positions. If you just take the time to realize where the danger is, the defense becomes a lot easier. Everybody knows in the beginning they look like this when somebody was trying to pass. Right? And what am I stopping? What am I pushing? The body. Right? Because you're like, I'm going to stop the biggest part. I'm going to push on the hips of the body. And they just go, and you're like, how come it's not working? I'm getting killed. And it's like, yeah, I know that. You're reaching, you're pushing, you're not taking away the most important parts of the guard pass. You're not doing anything but I'm going to give you, and that's why I do what everybody does. Let me give you. Yeah. Not only that. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys. The person's passing on top. What is their most important weapon? Which one?
Their weight or pressure?
The hand, yeah. It's the outside cross-faced hand. And if this is MMA, this is the hand I'm punching. I'm passing this way, I'm holding with this one. Why am I not punching with this one?
Connected.
What's that?
You're connected to him?
Yeah, so like I have Sean, right? Which hand am I hitting with? Which hand am I cross-facing? Which hand am I going to throw over and grab his head and fold him up with? Which hand am I going to grab his collar with? Why am I not going to do it with this? What's that? Yeah, where's the center line? I'm already very close to it. I'm already very close to it here. Is this good? Why is this not good? Put your knee out. Yeah, look how bad this is. How about a punch? He moves his head out of the way. How's this? He puts his foot down. I'm sitting guard. Or I'm fighting this and he's taking my back. Nobody throws this and they don't throw it for that reason. The other thing is it's holding me in. I'm holding myself in on this side. So whether it's MMA, whether it's just jiu-jitsu, wrestling, gi, no gi, whatever it is, if I'm passing, he should be taking his bottom arm and going after this arm. Can I pass him like this? No, I probably can't. How many people see, do you guys see that no-arm wrestler that won the States? No, fucking me either.
That was probably called bullshit.
There's a guy? Yeah. No, it doesn't exist. All right, real quick, in the most simple form. We didn't start yet. I'm going to come in and try to do damage on Sean. What do you think the first thing I'm going to do is? hands on them. Am I gonna put my knee up? No, I'm gonna be like this. That's always number one. And people don't pay attention to that in the very beginning. They go, oh, I'm gonna do the whatever move. It's like, why? The only thing that they can pass with is their arms, and then they use their arms to back up their legs. That's wrestling. If they don't have the arms, or they're missing their most important arm, don't you think my job on the top is gonna be a lot harder? Right? Is it gonna be harder? It's gonna be way harder. So that should be, his body language is great. And I come in, put my hands on, and right away he takes my hand. My most important arm that I want, even if let me pass the leg, you can. Let me pass the leg. And I'm here. How am I doing? Not good. He just moves my head up a little bit, I'm going over. Or I sit my weight back and I pull my arm back out. And what does he do? Butt away, head away, or he gets his guard, or he pushes off me and he gets right back on top. So, are you all programmed this way now? Were you programmed this way at the beginning of class? No? That's good. I'm glad you shook your head no. Enter? Were you programmed this way? Okay, I want to program everybody like this way out of the box. If you're playing open guard, it should always look like this. I'm waiting for it, I'm not reaching for it. Top arm. You can double down as long as your top elbow doesn't cross over the center line. I'll do this. Is my arm past the center line? Look where my elbow is. Right? I won't do this. I'll just go back up and I'll find it up here. If they're pulling the arm out, guess what? Just wait for it. I know where it's coming back to. It's coming right back to my face, my collar, my head, everything. It's gonna come right here. I'm just gonna wait for it. If you try to go up and over the top, then I'm gonna do what Carlos does. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna try to make you go this way. It sounds very simple, right? It is. It is. Start to get in that one-track mind and take away the most important things that people need to pass the guard, and automatically your guard goes from here to here. You know, hey, I think my cardio's better. It's like, no, you're not working anywhere near as hard as you're working for.
It's a lot easier when you get higher rank.
Yeah.
You're not working
right.
as hard. You're not
Well,
working
right,
as hard.
but you don't get the rank unless you do this stuff,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Unless you're making it easy. That's the whole thing, right? It's like we went together today, and I guess it was the first time. Because I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely do first try. You're doing a lot of stuff really well.
You got better than last week. I always mess with you. Everyone's in the class.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a point to that. But like, it's really good. But then you heard me, and I'm like, hey, you feel how hard I'm pushing into this? Here, take this. All right, wait, just let me go that way. And then I did. And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm way out of position, aren't I? And then now it's your turn. As opposed to always having to hold the rock and then move like that. Does this help? Does this make sense? Does anybody want to add something to this? AJ. What's up, buddy? Do you want to add something to our conversation being a black belt?
No, I think what Sean was saying about what Frank mentioned, about like going to another school and whatnot, just like things that people don't do that like you do here. I mean, most of you guys know, like I didn't come from Triforce. I got my black belt from another instructor, Jimmy Connors.
Who's my training partner coming up?
And just like Matt Santos, like you would never expect this. He's like this tall, tatted up dude, and you're just like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy. And then that's how I went into it as like an ex-wrestler. I was like, all right, I'm gonna roll with you. I'm gonna smoke you. I got to north-south, and I was like, I'm doing great. This is awesome, right? And then he threw his legs up and over me, took my back and choked me. I was like, oh, there's levels to this. And then
That's how he got that belt.
that's when like I got hooked. I was like, all right, I gotta learn all this stuff. And then I went on the journey, and then even some of the stuff that like you don't think is important, like the knees to elbow. Like I go to other schools and I'll train with some of like my other black belt buddies, and like they're passing my guard, and I'm knees to elbow now, and they can't pass my guard. I was like, this really works. And then just like small little moves that like I've worked with either like Denise or Pete or Leon. I'm just like, oh, okay. And like other places aren't like picking it up, and then they ask me like, hey, what'd you do different? Like 2 weeks ago I was hitting you with this, and then now I'm not hitting you with you, which ironically like Andrew G and I had a conversation about that this past week. And, like I caught him and he's like, what did you do different? I was like, I'm would you like to know? And then I was like very hesitant to like tell him, and I was like, I wanted him with the, I don't want to tell you because you compete against people I train with.
Yeah.
But I ended up telling him, I was like, hey man, all I'm doing is really this and this. I was like, I worked with Pete on this, and yeah, it's been really working for me. And he's like, oh, all right. And then like I could kind of like tell his like ego was there at first, and then it kind of died down a little
Yeah,
bit.
man, you don't have to meet ego. That's the cool thing about it. Like, no matter how I feel about, like, let's say I get into NDG, right, and we grapple, I'm gonna show them. You know, like, I'd rather have you know all my stuff and still try to beat you with it because I don't get better by withholding secrets. I teach everybody all my shit all the time, and then they start shooting it back on me, which sucks sometimes. Okay, but then the idea is I have to field it and go, oh yeah, okay, and then if it really works, I have to go, oh man, okay. And then I come up with something that kind of beats it or stalemates it, and now I'm getting better. And then I take it and I go, well, if people do that to me on the bottom, which I'm going to show them, now it's going to make it harder for me to do what I want to do on the top. How do I get better at that thing on the top? And it just, you know, people that know me for like years ago were like, oh man, you're like the guillotine guy. I'm like, fuck, I don't guillotine guys that much anymore.
That's what I did too. I'm like, Pete's got a really good guillotine. I was like, I've never seen a guillotine once. I'm like, I need to like I need to pull the John Duma and just like.
Nobody is dumb enough to give him his fucking neck.
But it's not only that. It's like I taught people to be so good at it, and there's some people that are. But I also taught the defenses, so it's very hard. It's like, yeah, right. And then I started to teach like, yeah, but if they don't get there in time, we can actually get the guillotine from crossbody. If we do it in time to shelf, I'll show you all those little tricks.
Whenever you guys are really fast each way, you prevent it.
Say again, heard you?
Sorry, especially like kind of like what you're saying, you go to the crossbody, if you can prevent them from passing the way they want to, and that gives you that extra 2-3 seconds to adjust and start waiting for the side that you pass. Next thing you know, they have you go the hard way,
Right.
control side is, and then it's like it's not crossbody anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe I don't get the submission, but I certainly made you fuck up your position by going after the attack. And I think more people need to do that in competitions. What do you say?
I was gonna say, I think it's just from wrestling where like I kind of stick my neck out a couple times, and I've been guillotined probably a million times to the point now where I'm just like, all right, take the guillotine, all right, let me work my defense. But Ryan Vasquez, who he easily has one of the top 3 tightest guillotines I've ever felt.
Arms are 6
Yeah, his arms are like 6 feet long each, and I'm like, I'll like talk shit to him as he's like, you know, like, must be nice. I'm like, if I had your length, I could choke you through right now. But like him, and then this guy Joe Ficola, who trained with Brett Santos, he's got a nasty one too. To the
Yeah,
point,
Matt Santos always had a great guillotine.
to the point where like I have to guillotine him as he's guillotining me, and like we end up in this like 50-50 front headlock guillotine, and we're like, all right. Yeah, literally, like the first time we did it, we're like, all right, this has never happened before. What do we do? And we're like, all right, whoever's hits are higher are gonna win. And like, I think we were both brown belts at the time. We were like, I don't know if we're doing this right. We're sure gonna figure it out together. So
Yeah, it's head higher. I'm always trying to hold it. I'm always trying to just keep tossing it over the top.
it's so interesting. Like, just because like I have a black belt, Coach B has a black belt, like doesn't mean like we know everything.
Yeah.
Like, we're sure as hell gonna figure it out with you guys. And like,
That's what the
we're
black
learning
belt
too.
is. You know, it's just like you can figure out anything. Like, go ahead, show me, let's work with it. Right? Because you get past that point where you're doing moves. What he's talking about is like, skip all the bullshit that I had to go through, that he had to go through. I want to cut this way shorter for you guys. Like I'm telling you right here, don't like waste all the bullshit time that I did. Not, you know, obviously it was a way more primitive time when I came up for jiu-jitsu itself. But, you know, let me go, hey, I learned all this sort of stuff. Let me cut the fat for you and just give you, like I talked about the guard and going after the wrist. Like, you know how long I spent before I figured that shit out? I was at least a purple belt. So for me, a purple belt, by the way, I spent 4 years of purple belt and like, or 5 years of purple belt and maybe 4 years almost in brown belt. Most people would agree. I don't know. And I knew it was probably kind of personal or whatever at the time. You know, I had a school and whatever. I'm like, I was thinking, I didn't really care. You know, I was going to sit there and
Yeah, Black Friday deal. But no, I was like, damn, all my friends were getting like their blue belts. I was like, I know I'm better than them. I was like, whatever. And then I was like, no, I'm just the best white belt ever. It is for the junior. I was like, I'm gonna do the best white belt ever. And then I rolled with junior once, and then he's like, all right. And then he's like on my back, he just like undoes my belt. I was like, what is he gonna do? He's gonna choke me with my own belt. He just goes, all right. Ties a blue belt on me. I was like, all right.
I've done it to a couple of people for sure, and he wouldn't give up his back, and then finally, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm gassed over here now because he knows I want the back, and I have to get the back. I've never been in a situation where I have to get the back. Put the belt on somebody, and now I'm like, fuck. I guess he's earning this belt right here.
You just throw it down. You want to take this?
No.